Hello everyone, it's Trena from John's Furniture Repair, and I am here with my first project with my dad on camera. We've been working together for a month. This is John Unger of John's Furniture Repair.
Hi there. I've been looking forward to working with my daughter for many years, and she finally came and took over the shop, and it's a real privilege to be able to do the things that we both love doing together.
Yeah, it is really nice. I used to work with my dad 10 years ago, and I think I started working with him 20 years ago, 25 years ago, a long time ago. Always been in the shop, so it was nice to be back and working with my dad again. We can razz each other back and forth and argue about things, so it's really nice. Anyways, we are working on this buffet, and it's just a factory-made piece that we're doing for a customer. It needs a good refinish, so I'll get the camera in close and I'll show you guys a couple of details as we work into this first piece. So, welcome back, and here I am with my dad. All right, so as you see here, the finish is failing. Water damage on the top. We've got some really interesting shading on this piece, which is really nice. I think everything's in pretty good shape. We just need a good finish put back on. Maybe a few things with the door operation, and the inside has some of that MacTech stuff that we'll probably remove. Drawer seems to work okay. It's one of those very long drawers, but it's got a bottom that I'm not sure if it's original. So we'll take a look at that. And again, you can see a lot of water damage on the legs. The joints look pretty good though, so that's good. Nothing's too broken, destroyed, just an ugly finish that needs to be removed. So let's get this apart and strip it down. right, so I've got everything stripped and sanded, and I had the customer come in to bring a sample because she actually refinished one of the pieces of the set a little while ago, and she just never got to this one, so we're doing this one for her. She wants them to match, so she brought what she had done in, so I'll show you what her stuff looks like. So it's a pretty opaque color. You can kind of see it's like a reddish brown. These parts were actually bleached out on the original, so they're not going to take as much stain. She did paint these other details a little bit more opaque, so we're just going to stick with that look so it looks the same as her other piece. So we're going to be using Special Walnut in the gel stain. It's going to go on a little lighter than we're going to need it to, but we can tone it down in the booth or add some more with some dry brushing and stuff. So we'll just work through everything now. It's ready to go and get some color on. It'll need to dry overnight because this stuff takes a little while to dry. And yeah, the inside we just sanded and cleaned up down in there. Took the MacTech out, of course, but we're just gonna seal it. We're not gonna do anything else with that there. So yeah, it wasn't in too bad a shape other than the top had a couple dents that we steamed. That's why we do the steaming, to actually lift the dents and the impressions in the wood, and then it makes it a lot easier for sanding. You don't have to sand as much because everything is lifted. It actually puffs up those fibers back to where they were almost. So the top did get quite a bit of sanding. Everything else got a very light hand sand with 180. So let's get the stain rolling and see how it looks like. All right, so we're here in my dad's spray booth, and we've got this piece all stained. That's our sample drawer there, so you can see we have a lot of tinting to do on these pieces. I just tried to leave the stain pretty heavy on those, but they will need to go a little bit darker. And other pieces, you know, stained up different colors and all that jazz. But we're at a good starting point here, and we'll get some tint rolling in the gun. Got to figure out which color I'm going to be using here. And yeah, but this is my dad's spray booth. It's a little bit bigger and it has some cabinets in it. Mine was a little bit different in my old shop in Ontario. And I can give you guys a little tour here too. Here's the compressor that we actually gifted him with Buy Me a Coffee one year when his big old compressor went conked out. This is the ventilation that he's got going outside, just a simple air intake and exhaust. And that just runs through a door that we just put into this opening. So pretty simple stuff. When I build my new shop, which I'm working on, guys, we'll have a spray booth installed again. So drying racks, I just bought this year, or like last month. So we had a couple kitchens that me and my dad finished up together before we started filming again. But here's the whole shop. They built a mezzanine a little while ago. Tool center. Tools all right. My dad had to kind of make do with a lot of tools. I'm going to give you guys a history one day about this shop, but it's been through some things. And this is our little prep center, stripping, sanding, repair, all of that jazz. I've just been kind of cleaning up and going through the shop and getting things organized for me to be here. That's his old sign, little work center here, and I've got Mr. Festool, a few more workbenches here, and Dad, he's also an installment here. And then I've got a couple bathrooms. This is stuff that we've got to do in the for customers in the next couple months here. Got a few pieces that are really cool to work on. And this is the front room, which is nice. Didn't have one of these in my space before, so it's a nice, bright, open space for putting pieces that are finished. Finished this one a couple weeks ago, you can see with the light. Really cool kind of kidney-shaped desk. And my mom's got upholstery going on upstairs too, so she's got some upholstery pieces in waiting. There's some really interesting projects. That was actually my dad's dresser when he was growing up. So we'll have to do something with that. And this is the office where the important things happen. But anyways, let's get some tint in the gun and get rolling on that piece. All right, so I've got a tint mixed up. It's kind of, that's it without the finish on it. But there it is with the original drawer, so looking really good for a match. So it's a mixture of the cherry, Goudy cherry, and there's San Miguel. And that's just mixed into a lacquer with a little bit of lacquer thinner to thin it out. And I've just been spraying it on everything, seeing how it looks. And I think we've got the color pretty bang on. So everything's without a sealer on the case here. So I'm just gonna continue going around. Just got the sides and a bit of the base left, and then we'll seal it up. It's very humid today, so I'm not gonna do a lot of finishing. And surprisingly humid in Saskatchewan, it's weird. Anyways, we'll just keep on rolling. Alrighty, so now that we've got the main case tinted and everything tinted, we need to pay attention to the second part of this finish. And the customer had chosen to leave that very much neutral, but there is a bit of an orange tinge. So what I'm gonna do now is actually take off the tape on all of those light areas that I taped off and see what they look like with a clear coat. And if we need to add a little bit of something, we can at this point. And then after that is sealed and dried for a day, we're gonna go in and darken. We're gonna have to do a little bit more tape off and darken those spots to a pretty opaque color. So a little bit of extra work on this one, but it's a nice feature. So let's peel this off and we can see what it looks like. I kind of think we need to add a little bit of orange. She may have even put or used one of those tinted varnishes on this piece with the color in the varnish. So I just want to see what it looks like with a clear coat though, because it does really shift that color, and then I can clean up all these little edges if we have, you know, little pieces of stain and stuff before we do that. So I'll get that off, clean them up, and see what they look like. Okay, so I've got a clear coat on, and you can see compared to the original, we need a lot of more orange. So I'm gonna hit the areas that we need to with the raw umber, just because the color that I'm tinting with does not actually have a lot of orange in it, and raw umber has definitely got lots of nice reddish orange. It might be too reddish. I might have to get a little bit of yellow in there too, just to bring it up a bit. So let me turn the fan on and we'll shoot that a little, see how it shifts. Bit of a shift. I think it's headed in the right direction. Might need to mask it off if it's too much of a, but we are going really dark around the perimeter, so
bit more. Can't really see it in this light, but I think we've got it in the right direction. The lights in spray booth are really bright fluorescent, so. All right, I will continue with that and hopefully get them all in the same zone. And there it is, all finished up. Looking really good with the sample back there that we've got. I think we hit this color bang on. Happens once in a while. It's a really interesting color and a really interesting choice of design. And everything's popping so nicely now that the finish is all cleaned up. I know a lot of you will say, oh, this is such a traditional restoration. Most of my restorations kind of stick to that because I do client work. And you can see, you know, in the shop here, we've got a lot of pieces that, you know, these are from furniture stores because we do some work for Anthology here in Saskatoon, and they always have some nice, modern, interesting pieces. But we also do a lot of very traditional finishes, so it's fun to get into both. I always like bringing a piece back to its original. It's not boring for me, and I don't feel like, you know, it looks old-fashioned or whatever. I just think it looks good. And my customer will be super pleased to have it back in her home to match her other piece that she's had there for a while. So yeah, you can see our color contrast. That was a lot of work masking off and getting those to look right. And this color was a little bit tricky to mix and figure out as well. But I'm really glad I took a little extra time and got it to where it is. So thanks so much for joining me on this one, guys. See the handles there too. Inside we did a tape line for the frame, nice clean line, and cleaned up the inside, kept it natural. If you remember, there was that MAC tack in there. I did do a little bit of some gold brushing on these plated, because they were just showing their tin instead of the gold. So there's a little bit of gold to match the actual brass, or sorry, brass to match the actual brass handles here. So yeah, thanks for joining me on this one, guys. This is our first project we're filming in the shop, and it's gonna be exciting. I actually just dropped off my applications to get a permit for a home business and to tear down a couple of structures at my place to make room for a new building. A lot of you might be wondering, Trena, why are you working in your dad's shop? I thought you were building a shop. So this summer has been pretty crazy. I think I'm gonna do a video on just the journey from Ontario to Saskatchewan back home and moving, and a couple of things that we didn't expect to happen, and kind of threw a big old monkey wrench in the whole thing, a couple of things like that. And yeah, so it's gonna take a little bit longer, and that's okay. I think I just wanna do everything right. I don't mind working in my dad's old shop. It's a space that I know, and a space that is perfectly fine and functional. And I did some upgrades here when I got here, just a really big cleanup. And we did put in a few more lights and just stuff to get it all freshened up so that we can work in a nice fresh space, because I think I will be here all winter. But like I said, I've got those permit applications in for the home-based business because I want to build the building at my house. And so waiting for those to go through, and then I can actually get a permit to build the building. So we've actually decided to go with Olympia Steel prefabricated buildings. So they're just waiting on my permits to come through, and it might take a little while. But it's going to be exciting, and I feel like, you know what, maybe this summer is a little bit too much to also get a move in and a build. So I'm just enjoying being back in the shop, really working on everything in here with my dad and having some space just to figure out what I need to figure out with all that and where we're going. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you a little update for, you know, where I am. And we're just in the city of Saskatoon here, so it's nice because customers can get to us and it's nice and close, although we do have to kind of curtail demand while I catch up and get my bearings in my dad's shop to take over. And that's been a challenge too, so we're just trying to hold the floodgates while this business has been in this city for over 55 years and people, you know, expect it to be there, and it just needs a little bit of reorganizing, and my dad needs to take a rest and I need rest. My dad needs rest. There's a lot going on in my life and in my dad's life, and yeah, so I'm really excited to get back to it and to get a rhythm and get back on the channel, have things going out regularly, and it's nice to get one project finished and filmed, and it was a good project. I really did enjoy this one, and it turned out really great, which always makes it way more enjoyable. So anyways, thanks so much for listening to me, and thanks for coming back on the channel and sticking around and waiting for us. I really appreciate my community on here. So if you want to support the channel again, you can buy me a coffee. The link is in the description below, and that's really just going to help me to be supported while I get my feet back on ground and get stuff going and continue to do these lovely projects that you guys love to watch and learn from. And yeah, so take care. We're gonna get back at it and we'll see you soon. Okay.